Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love Miami. This is episode 4. I hope you guys are doing good today. I'm doing well. So, let's talk about what happened on the show. We got the ladies coming into the ladies' lounge today. It's 8 women left. And this time, the power to eliminate is going to be in their hands at the end of the episode. The ladies are encouraged by Nephew Tommy to step their game up, show their interest in these gentlemen. There's going to be a white party. This season seems to be moving quick. And I guess because normally I feel like they don't do as many parties, but I could be thinking about it wrong. And I think I'm thinking about it this way because they started out with the pool party. They normally don't do that. So they started out with the pool party, then they had the mixer brunch type party, and now they are having a white party where all of the ladies have been encouraged to step it up and go on some dates. So Kayla and Randall go on a date, and she says she's trying to kind of step outside of her comfort zone a little bit. The date was cool. They had a lot of, I would say, sexual chemistry, but it seemed like it was more on Randall's end, like sexual chemistry towards her. I didn't really see that much that she had towards him. But when he tries to feed her something, she's making different little innuendos about it being big and juicy. And child, I said, don't turn Randall out. Now, see, his other date wasn't like this, Kayla. Don't turn this man out like that. And Randall says that he likes that they have a whole bunch of things in common as he's telling her about his family values and how he's ready to begin starting that family, but he also wants to have a little fun with his person first. To me, it kind of seemed like he was tailoring his answers to what she might want to hear. Did anybody else feel that way? But yeah, they seem to have similar ideas. Okay, he's on his grown man, she says. And then when they get out in the parking lot, he hugs her and he picks her up. And I was just thinking to myself, Randall, do you really like her because of y'all, y'all share the same ideas, or do you like how Kayla looks? Because I think he likes how she looks, but I don't know, y'all. We gonna see what happens with the two of them. I personally think Kayla is about to pull a Kyra on everybody and choose herself. But, we'll have to see what happens. Child, I knew my patience was going to be tried and tested, but I didn't know it was going to be on episode 4. So Jamilah. I forgot this girl was on the show. She shows up to a restaurant because she needs to have a conversation with Justice. She's not very comfortable with the way that they've been communicating lately, so she wants to talk to him about it. So Justice comes in looking like he just stepped into the Copacabana. I said, what do he have? All right. Anyway, he takes a seat, and Jamilah is asking him how he's feeling and more about what it is that he's trying to do when it comes to her. Because again, I told you, she's not comfortable with the conversation they've been having as of the last couple of days or weeks or what have you. When Justice walks in and he sees Jamilah, he says in the confessional that he likes Jamilah and she exudes a lot of sexual energy. I already didn't like that because that's not what don't get me wrong. I know, honey, I have a male friend that says it don't matter who the man is, how nice he is. Of course he wants sex. At some point he does want sex. So I'm not foolish enough to believe that that's not on a man's mind, but it shouldn't be a constant. Eventually we should grow out of such things where we're constantly feeling lusty. He sits down with her and he basically tells her when it comes to this process, it's a whole bunch of women. I'm not really trying to do the whole wine and dine thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm going to put forth effort. We might go to the beach. We might go do these things, but I'm looking for energy. I'm looking for a woman that's going to put as much into me as I'm going to put into them. I'm the king of the castle. I don't really have time to be chasing and to be running around. And you're going to see it and you're going to like it. You're going to get with it. You're going to decide it's something that you want, or you're just going to leave it alone. I just don't really have time for all of this. Layman's terms, y'all, I'm giving y'all the Cliff Notes version. Y'all can go watch it and see exactly what he said. But layman's term is, I'm not about to be spending no money on these women. I'm not to be spending no money on you. I'm not about to be spending no money on anybody until I get to that point where I can kind of focus in on you. And then I might start spending some money, which I probably won't. To me, I interpreted it as I've spent a lot of money on women in the past, and I haven't got no ass. I haven't got anything out of it. I didn't get no coochie. And so what I'm not going to do is continue to spend money on women that I'm not getting no coochie from. That's what I'm feeling, because he relates everything back to energy and sexual energy. So I'm being led to think that perhaps he doesn't want to keep spending this money because he's not going to get anything out of the deal. Listen, I've had this conversation with guy friends before. I know how you all feel about spending money on dates, and then you feel like the money is wasted when it doesn't work out with said woman. And I will always say this, and I know it's a double standard. I can't get time back. I can't get time back. I can get money back. I know how to get money. I know how to get a lot of money, actually. I can't get my time back. I would rather, there are men that I've wasted time with that I wish it had just been money. I wish it had just been money and not my time, because I can make that money back. I done wasted plenty of money, child. Don't get me started, oh people. I done wasted plenty of money. I done wasted money in a relationship. And I know that I could get that money back, but that time hurts. That time is a mother. And don't nobody really want to be wasting that. I'd rather have my money wasted than my time any day. But that's just me. Okay, that's just me. And that is, I'm a lady. And that is how I think. But I get how y'all are about your money. Perhaps this wasn't the show for you. And like Jamilah said, I like the way she approached it with him. She was just like, and that sounds like to me somebody that is comfortable being single. Like that's been comfortable being single for a long time. You don't want to do the chase. You don't want to do the courting. You don't want to do the action. And that's understandable. But again, you should be comfortable then being single, because this is what dating entails. My ex used to tell me all the time, like, if you ain't got no money, you ain't got no business being out here dating. Because it requires some money. So, I mean, I don't know. He tries to talk real philosophical and deep about it, but I wish he would just cut to the chase. Like, listen, I done spent my money on women in the past, and I just don't want to keep doing that. You know, I want to know if we gonna be in this thing or not before I just keep spending money on you. And listen, you could even, if I was a man, this is what I would do if I was tired of spending money. I would get real creative about my dates. I would make sure to date women who wasn't on that kind of time, who didn't even, because there's women who, believe it or not, they don't care about being wined and dined. I would go with my more creative girls. Okay, I would start dating more in that realm, and I would get real creative with my dates. Bike rides, okay, long walks on the beach, picnics. I don't know, by the time she noticed that everything we doing is cheap, but hopefully by that time she done fell in love. Just get creative, fellas, if you don't want to spend the money. Okay, that might work better in your favor. But this right here, trying to get philosophical with it and try to make it seem like I'm just so deep for y'all, y'all just don't understand, and not just saying what it is, don't nobody got time for that, Justice. And it would explain why you are closer to 50 than 40 and still by yourself. You can say it's by choice, but I don't really know, because I know a lot of desperate women, a lot, that are ready to be with somebody. Hell, I was one not too long ago. So it's just hard for me to believe. But and there's more desperate ones of us than it is of y'all. So anyway, sorry if I offended anybody by the word desperate. But yeah, that's the Justice. He's trying to make it seem like something that's not. And Jamilah is just kind of like, wow, that's what she got to say. Jamilah, girl, you need to try to see what your other prospects are, because this ain't it. Oh, baby, I am triggered. Y'all just gonna keep hearing me go off in this review. Nephew Tommy pulls up with Jacqueline, and they got what they say, oasis, I don't know, some type of oasis, okay? But Jacqueline looks beautiful, shout out to her. But why does Own and Ready to Love and Will Packard keep going with these lies? I don't care what Nephew Tommy say about 21 years, 22 years, 20 years. That woman waited on that ring for almost 10. 8 to 10 years she was in waiting to get whatever this said ring was. And I'm sick and tired of Nephew Tommy getting on this show. Y'all might have been together off and on for 20-something years, but y'all have not been married for 20-something years. I don't even think y'all been in a full-blown relationship for all that time. And if you have, then don't give me advice on how to get the ring, especially when you had somebody waiting on it for that long. Now I'm sick of these lies. I'm sick of these lies. And y'all can go look them up yourself. And I want to be wrong. So if y'all know of some courthouse wedding that they had, many years ago and then decided to renew their vows, let me know. But in those photos of Nephew Tommy, he is very much grown when they got married. He looked to be at least in his late 40s, I would say mid to late 40s. So, ooh, child, my skin itching. And then somewhere in the middle, one of them kids, not Jacqueline's, like, I don't. Help me, Lord. Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this review. I'm getting triggered every 5 minutes. Okay. So we're at the mixer, we're at the party, everybody's having a good time. Randall is sorting through his options, and it's so funny to watch because, you know, girls who don't date. Okay, so if you're the type of woman who normally dates the charming guys and the guys that are super funny or the guys that are super flashy or a combination of the two, I think that a lot of girls feel safe with dudes who are not like that. So the guys who are kind of more introverted or a little more quiet or what some would consider, you know, air quote, corny, whatever you want to call it. If you are not used to dating guys like that, I am. Okay, I'm used to dating the opposite. I've dated both. But if you're not used to dating guys like that, you will mess around and think that you have chosen a safe option and that they are looking at you like, oh, I'm so lucky to have her. Wrong. Okay, don't get me wrong. They do enjoy being around you. They do enjoy your very vibrant personality, but they got options too. Okay, they have options too. That's why when everybody likes to talk about the whole Russell thing and, oh, he wouldn't have been able to pull Sierra if he didn't have money. First of all, they both have money. They're both money people. They're both in the upper echelon. But if they were just regular people, there is still a chance that he could have pulled her. If they were both just regular people, because I'm telling you, they have their game too. It's different from the more flashy guys' game. And I think this is what men don't even understand about each other. Okay, the more boisterous ones are like, yeah, like, you know, you wouldn't like no dude like that. You don't know what their game is. Their game works a little different from y'all's, but it does work. Okay, it does work. Randall is going through his options with ease. He's like a real he's got kind of that shy persona. He told Jamilah she was perfect. Like, you don't even see it coming. You like, Randall with his options? Yes, absolutely. They have options too, ladies. You ain't safe with nobody. Okay, just know that you ain't really safe with nobody. They all got a few options up their sleeve. So, I was glad to see him and Jamilah interacting just because I want Jamilah to have some other interest other than justice. So I was glad to see those two interacting. I saw Kayla kind of look over there like, oh, excuse me. And Trinika, baby, when you getting that cast off your arm? It's throwing off. Every time she look cute, she come in the room, she looking cute. I look at that arm and I be like, no, can she get some color on it or something? Can we get one to match the fit? Can we get a red one? But, yeah, he's kind of talking to the girls that he enjoys or whatever. Randall is going to get down to the wire and they're going to have you hemmed up. So just go ahead and start sorting through that as quick as you can. But anyway, there's the Jenga game going on and we see Brandy give Mike a little lap dance, child, whatever. Speaking of lap dances, Mike, now somebody in my comments, I think it was Nia, shout out to Nia, said that you were showing cheeks on your IG page. Is it true, brother? And is that why I bet when Brandy started lap dancing, you wanted to get up and be like, oh, two can play that game. I got a little cheek to show as well. Y'all, I think his Instagram is private because I went to try to look at it and he better accept me. I want to see. Woo, okay, let me get back to the review. Cherisse wants to talk to Zoe because she is, wanted to know a little bit more about him. He's not her usual type. He seems a little bit boring. And Cherisse, what's your usual type? You said that about just about everybody on the show. He's not my usual type, but anyway, this conversation with Zoe, I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know if I'm just being too emotional or if I'm reading too much into things, because I know I just went off on Justice. I know I just went off on Nephew Tommy and them. So just let me know if I'm doing too much, you guys. I can scale it back. But this conversation with Zoe reminded me of a phrase that I say often. If you just be quiet, because I know I be talking. If you just shut your mouth, they will tell you exactly who they are and what they're about. Pay attention. Same thing with y'all, gentlemen. If you just be quiet, which men are a little better at doing than we are, a woman will tell you exactly who she is and exactly what she's about. Zoe is asked the question, has he ever been married? And he said, man, that's a, as soon as he did that, I said, oh, come on, Zoe, come on with it, Zoe, come on with the story. Zoe tells us that he once was almost married. He was with this woman about 7 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Okay. And she wanted to be married. And eventually I caved in and gave her what she wanted, which was to be engaged. Okay. Cherisse says, okay, well, you did something not because you wanted to. It seemed like you just did it to appease her. Like you did it because you felt forced to. And he was like, well, yeah, I mean, I did do that, but I knew where my heart was when it came to the relationship. And she was like, okay, so why not just say that? And I agree. Why not just say that? Well, ladies, what did I just say? If you be quiet long enough, they'll tell you who they are, right? Randall says he went back the very next day and took his ring back because wherever his heart was, it definitely wasn't with her, because he says, I knew that wasn't the person that I wanted to spend my life with. You couldn't tell her that at least 5 years earlier? Why be with somebody for 7 years and that's not... And when he said, I knew where my heart was, I couldn't really figure out where he was saying. Was he saying that my heart was not with her and I knew that? Or was he saying my heart was in a relationship, she shouldn't have wanted the ring? I couldn't really figure out which one it was. Or she shouldn't have been worried about being married. Obviously, she was right to worry because you didn't even want to be with her. You didn't want to spend your life with her, but you went ahead and spent 7 years with her and used her as a placeholder for whatever it was that you really wanted, but that I guess you haven't found yet. And although Cherisse appreciates his honesty, I hope she walks away from this conversation knowing that he'll waste anybody's time. And he just proves the point that I was talking about earlier. Ladies, we don't have time to waste. We don't have time to waste on stuff like that. 7 years, too long. Too long for big grown people. Alonzo is not that young. So even if this was 11 years ago, he was still very much a grown man, which means he spent 7 years with somebody he knew he didn't want to marry. And if you allow it, and if you go off the vibes and the energy, and we just having a good time like Justice wants to do, then you can waste 7 years of your time as well. And no, we're not doing it. Not if you want more for yourself. Now, if you just want to be girlfriend, boyfriend, that's fine. But no, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're not going. So I would have told Zoe, thank you. It was nice to meet you. You're not what I really need to be dealing with. And then when she asks him, does he want marriage? He says, well, eventually, that man do not want no marriage. He wants to placehold you just like he been placeholding other women for the last hundreds of years. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about that conversation. Oh, child, I know I'm going in on this review. All right, so more events happening at the party. We have Mike and Cherisse. They buried the hatchet. They have a conversation, and they decide that they're going to be cool. Mike does apologize for how he came off. Cherisse says he was aggressive, and she wasn't prepared for that. And he says he's not too big to apologize. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. They hash it out. They have a conversation. He goes back outside and he's talking to Kayla and Jamilah. And Jamilah's discussing the situation and how they just had to come to an understanding. And now they've communicated about it. And so Kayla was bringing up, Kayla annoys me. I was trying to give her a pass last week because I felt like her personality might have just been one of those things that... Have you ever met somebody that has like a certain type of exterior that they have to have on, be it for business, or sometimes it's like maybe the family that they came from, but they just have like a very matter-of-fact personality. But I'm not really sure if that's what's going on with Katie, and it almost seems like a not preachy, but like let me impart all of my knowledge on to you peons. She starts to bring up how he has to be careful, especially I'ma just go there, as a black man. In the conversations you have, and it's not that she's wrong. I just don't know if this interaction was that. You get what I'm saying? But I guess it could have been. It could have turned into that, but I don't think it was gonna go there to what she was speaking of. Shakira's uncomfortable, so she gets up to leave because she doesn't want to get into this kind of conversation. She doesn't like drama. She doesn't want to be involved, and I don't blame her. Like, I probably wouldn't have made an announcement, but I probably would have been like, oh, I'm about to go get something to drink. I'll be right back, y'all. Like, I would have just got up in a different kind of way, but she made it clear, like, I don't like mess. I don't want to talk about it. And Jamila's just like, well, it's not really mess, but it could be, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, sometimes when you're having a conversation, I honestly don't feel like they should have been talking about him and Cherisse's conversation at all, because that was really between him and Cherisse. But yeah, I probably would have got up and went on about my business too. So when she's getting up to leave, Katie was like, and yeah, well, Shakira's going to take it different given her situation. The situation is Shakira went through it sounds like some type of domestic violence with her ex that her son also saw. And she didn't appreciate Katie in saying that in front of Mike because she wanted to have the right to tell her own story. She shared that with the other ladies, but she didn't mean for it to be shared with the gentleman until she was ready to share it. So I got where she was coming from with that. And I don't think Katie should have done that. Do I think Katie did it with malicious intent? No. Something tells me that she didn't. Like I said, she has that kind of personality where she likes to get, like, I'm going to use a word that's not really a word, where she likes to psychologize everything and turn everything into her own little personal mental health segment. But I don't think she did it with ill intent, but it was still, it was not good. It was not something that I would have wanted shared, and I understood where Shakira was coming from with it. So, yeah. But that was what happened all at the pregame party. Sorry, I missed one thing. Kayla, play your position, baby. Don't start that jealousy stuff. Now, I couldn't really tell if she was playing or not, but when she's up under Randall, she telling Randall, I saw you over there with Jamilah, and you had your hand around her waist. I saw you touch her butt to it. He was like, you lying. I was not touching her butt. But Kayla, girl, we not going to jealousy route. It didn't seem like Randall took it too serious, but he did say it was getting intense, and I would hate to see Kayla end up like, y'all, what was that girl, the one that would get real possessive on that season, the Houston season? I cannot remember her name, but don't start getting like that. So after all of this goes on, Nephew Tommy and Jacqueline come out because it's time to announce that it's time to get ready for the white party. And everybody came out, child. They was looking good. I love my people in white. I love black people in white. I just love it. It's one of my favorite things to see. And everybody looked really nice. I wanted my sis Trinika to have a white cast, but Trinika just gonna come with that black cast. Okay, she gonna come with the black wristband on. But everybody looked absolutely beautiful. Now let's see what goes down in this event. Okay, so back at the white party, let's talk about the things that are going on. So I'm not going to go in a particular order because I can't really, guys, I'm not blaming on my mind, honey. Y'all know how this memory of mine is. So I'm going to just talk about some of the things that happened at the white party. So one of the things that happened is Jacqueline gets a chance to talk to Cherisse, and I believe it was Alonzo. They're asking questions about how she made it through and what's the secret. And she was like, when we have adversity, we talk it out. We fuss it out. There's no divorce around here. We're going to get through this together with God in the center, which was good advice. She also says that the secret was you both got to be ready. And we were at a time in life where we were just both ready. I said, yeah, how many years did was you ready before Tommy? Let me let it go, y'all. Let me let it go. But then she also ends up talking to Mike and Kayla. They're getting to know each other a little bit better. She asked them about their age difference, and it's Kayla's preferred age. So I think Mike is 42, and Mike said it ain't his, but he'll deal with it. It was something about the way he said it. It's not mine, but I'll take it. That was funny to me. Shakira and LJ talk, and she tells him like he's been a ladies' man as of late. And Shakira, again, you guys, I just don't know. But now I'm starting to get a better idea of her. I know somebody in the comments last week said that she was just like came off as being a little bit too serious, but I'm starting to think what it might be is that she might be it's not that she's not ready to date. I don't know if she's ready to date on this kind of platform. Where there is a lot of competition, where there is a lot of women around. I think she just requires a lot of just one-on-one dating, and I think just dating in the regular world with somebody who is truly, truly ready, not really trying to juggle multiple women would be better for her. Because it sounds like she does come from a relationship, not only that somebody may have been putting hands on her, but it also sounds as if he didn't speak to her well. He didn't handle her well. And she, because of that, may have some doubts about herself. And if you come into this process having any kind of doubts about yourself, it's going to be difficult because it ain't nothing but TNA running around there. And the women are beautiful and the women are smart and the women are successful. And, they don't have children and some of them do. But, they just have a lot of things going for themselves as well. And it's not that you don't stand as beautiful as you are, Shakira, in your own right. But something about the way that she speaks, sometimes I don't know if she believes that about herself fully. It's almost like she's surprised that she's accepted. And I'm going to talk about where I saw that. So after she has her conversation with LJ and says that it doesn't seem like he's as into her, he only called her once, and LJ's like, well, you didn't answer. She said, I called you back. But she seemed like whenever he was trying to answer, she would kind of jump in with something else. I was like, girl, let him talk because he might dig his own hole. Let him talk. But she would just kind of be like, and if you're not interested, I can just, and he was like tiptoe. She said, no, walk away. I don't know why that was funny to me, but she's basically, every time he tries to get ready to get a word in, she's just like, and if you don't have time for that, like, just let me know. But the reason why I said what I said about Shakira and her I'm not sure if she's ready for a process of this magnitude or of this nature is because of the conversation she has with Randall. Randall is getting his game in strong, y'all. And I don't even know if it was game with Shakira. I just really think he saw somebody. I think he felt bad. I think he saw her as somebody who had been through a lot. She does share a little bit of her story with Randall and said that she was told in her relationship that she was nothing, and she had heard that for so long that she was actually surprised when she got back out on the dating scene and saw that there were men who would accept her and her child. And it was like a breath of fresh air. And Randall said, you know you are dope, right? That anyone would be lucky to have you. And she was like, really? You really think that? And look, y'all, she could have been putting on, because some women are really good at the, oh my gosh, like the aloof coy girl act. But I don't think so. I do believe that as beautiful as she is, I really do think, especially in this process with so many big personalities, I really do think that she doesn't believe fully that she has it. And I know how that feels. It doesn't matter. You guys give me compliments all the time, and I can't tell you how much it means the world to me, you guys. When y'all were helping me around this time last year, actually it was like around September, October, you guys, your comments helped me so much. I was going through such a rough time. And even though I appreciated the things that were being said, it was very hard for me to believe them. And sometimes I still struggle with that. So I know I couldn't be on a dating show. I really would have a really hard time, and I would feel intimidated. And sometimes I wonder if she feels that way, but I don't know. Y'all can let me know what you all think about this, Shakira, and if she was really ready for this show. And then, another part I wanted to talk about. Are we not surprised at Swayze and Katie? And I am. I thought Swayze was going to be kind of how, I thought he was going to move kind of like LJ is moving, kind of like being a charmer and like a ladies' man, I guess you could say. But Swayze is actually the opposite. Swayze says, like, I know that I'm probably shooting myself in the foot by spending my time with one woman and kind of catering to one woman or zeroing in on one woman. But the more I talk to Katie and the more I'm around Katie, and I wasn't expecting it to go like this, but I like her. And it's so funny to me because Katie comes off as way more serious than Swayze, but she must have a very, like, she must have another side to her that we haven't seen, or Swayze may have a more serious side to him. Or it may be an opposites attract thing. Like maybe she needs Swayze to balance some of the seriousness or the matter of factness that she has about herself. And maybe Swayze needs somebody that's a little bit more serious to get him back in check when he takes it too far. So anyway, it works, I guess. They even give each other a little kiss, but they're laughing and giggling over there in the corner. And she said that she wasn't even expecting it, but she likes him. So yeah, child. Okay. Let's see what happens there. Who else am I missing anybody? Oh, Cherisse and Samson. Whew, that conversation was layered. It was very, very layered. There's a couple of things that went on in that conversation. I'm going to try to see if I can get to them all. So Samson, when he's talking about dating, he tells Cherisse that he likes a woman that understands the struggle, and you tend to find that in women of color. Now, the rest of the conversation went well, y'all, but I was squinting my eyes a little bit when he said that, but I released him. Because I think what he's saying is, you know, I mean, I don't know, y'all. I just don't. Sometimes when I hear Black people make comments like, well, you know, it's best that we date each other because we understand the struggle. We understand what we've been through. And while I understand what people mean when they say that, I want to make no mistake. I want somebody to want to date me because they appreciate everything about me. Everything that makes up me. So I feel like Samson, as the conversation went on, he kind of gave out more qualities that he liked in a woman, in a Black woman. But he said women of color, so that could be. But I'm going to just go ahead and say in a Black woman, and I appreciated, you know, him kind of expounding upon that, because what I don't want to happen is for a Black man to be dating me strictly because we understand what it is to be a minority in this country, or we understand what it is to be treated differently because of your race. That can be an aspect of it, but I don't want that to be the main reason that you're with me, because then it's almost like a form of trauma bonding. It's like being friends with a person because y'all both keep getting cheated on and y'all both think, you know, N-words ain't this, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. I don't want that to be the basis of our friendship, just like I wouldn't want that to be the basis of our relationship. I would want it to be about a lot more. You know, I would want you to want to date me because you love everything about me. You love the richness of my heritage. You love the richness of my family heritage. Like, I'm from the South. You love my cultural background. You love my belief system. You love everything that makes me me, not just the fact that I understand the struggle. But Samson does say he likes the strength as well, because Cherisse says that sometimes in Miami, she feels like Black women get overlooked. And when she tells people that she's just a Black woman, it's almost like they're disappointed. I said, speak, Cherisse. Okay, like, because people act like this is not real. And so I was very glad she spoke on it. And he said, really? Like, he didn't know that was a thing. Maybe he didn't. But he was just like, oh, maybe they're intimidated by you, but I like your strength. And I appreciated that. To me, that added another layer on what Samson was talking about. So it's not just about understanding the struggle, but I also like the strength, because that strength lets me know that you know how to be there for the family. You know how to hold the family down, because holding it down, y'all know Black women, we get alarmed when we hear anything that might sound like ride or die. But I like that he was talking about holding the family down, and he talks about his background and how he grew up and how his mom had to, because you know his father died, so how they had to do a lot of stuff to help the mom out, even if it was just picking up cans for $5. And I think they had a connection in that moment, and I appreciated that he appreciated her strength, and I was glad that she was appreciative of the fact that he appreciated her strength. So it closed out well. But what did y'all think about the whole conversation, and what did you get out of it? Because y'all might have got something different than I got. All right, so y'all know what happens at the end. We got to meet with the ladies. Who do you like? Who do you want to stay? Who do you want to go? As far as the guesses, Randall, honey, Randall is safe, okay? Because he made his rounds, even with people he wasn't interested in. He made his rounds and he is safe. Um, who else was safe? Samson's name came up a couple of times, so he was safe. As people's top choice. Sway, Katie definitely made sure she mentioned Swayze's name, so he was safe as one of the top choices. Who ended up being mentioned at the bottom was Zoe. LJ, I was really surprised that Shakira put LJ in the went ahead and threw him under the bus like that. She was just like, I shouldn't have to ask or request more attention from anybody. Who I already said Zoe, LJ, and Justice came up. Why? Justice came up because Justice left the party early, y'all. He had a grand opening he had to get to, and he had to get on up out of here, honey. He got his yellow jacket and he got on up out the party. And Nephew Tommy was just like, I know he ain't leave my party. Yes, he did, baby. He left the party and he didn't say nothing to you and got on up out the door. But a lot of the ladies weren't really connecting with him like that anyway. They don't really believe what he says, so they're not feeling Justice like that. Side note, were the ladies drunk? I'm trying to figure out, was they a little tipsy? And listen, now, y'all, I like to dance too. I like to get my, dance on as well. But baby, it was a bunch of hands on the ground and it was lap dances. I usually got to get real comfortable with you to get to twerking like that. And I don't do it in front of no cameras either. You got one time to record me dancing and we done. But I was just like, oh my goodness, ladies, y'all, okay, I guess. But anyway, it's elimination time, and we don't get to see who gets eliminated. Instead, they roll to, we'll see who it is next week. I got a feeling they're going to wait until Justice get back to actually eliminate somebody. I think they all going to be safe, and then Justice is going to be the one that ends up having to go home. But, child, we going to see. What did y'all think about this episode? I don't know what to say, y'all. I feel like I just been ranting and raving the whole time. But y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.